Let's see, Steve, Seattle, Washington. You're on the Wilkow Majority. Hello.
My question is, at what point you made this comment about the ground beef, the 1 pound today, next week they put a EPA tax or regulation in there, and so you can buy 3/4 pound. What is the size that you recommend?
The right size of regulation?
Liberal, and I listen to conservative talk show, and there's just no middle ground anymore. It's hate Obama, hate Bush. And
well, hold on. There's no hatred here. Okay.
What do you want to call it? I mean, what
on this program, I can only speak for this program. No, I don't hate anybody. The right amount of regulation is prescribed by the Constitution. The federal government doesn't have whatever authority it wants to have. There are still states, and as long as we're going to have states and they're going to have state governments, then states ought to be regulating in their best interest. And in the absence of the power to do so, it falls back to the counties.
That's a nice broad statement, constitutionalist, yada yada.
How is that yada yada, sir?
But it's real simple. You've got to find a line. You can't just bash.
I'm not bashing. The line is the Constitution. What's wrong with that line? I like that line. That's a good line.
Hey, the Constitution's great. It's wonderful. It's the basis of the country. Got that part. The problem is that you've got one side, saying this and the other side saying that, but there's no answers. There's no answers. It's just bashing whatever current administration, whether it be the last administration or this administration, but nobody really comes.
But see, but if criticizing and analyzing is bashing, then what are you supposed to do?
It's like turning on Sean Hannity.
Look, Sean Hannity comes up in 10 minutes. You can take it up with him. I'm not Sean Hannity.
You don't sound much different.
Okay, you can limit your criticism to me, but so I'm not allowed to say anything about the administration then?
No, I'm not saying
Well, how about this? Before I tell you what the right amount of regulation is, why don't you tell me what the right amount of criticism is?
Giving answers. If you're going to criticize, give us a solution.
I'll give you, I have. You give me any problem, I'll give you an answer. You want Social Security, I'll give you an answer. You want regulations, I'll give you an answer. Give me a question, I'll give you an answer.
How much regulation do you think the FDA should have on meat products and inspection? How much?
The FDA or the... Okay, let's start with this. How many agencies should be issuing redundant regulations? There's the first start. I think we can agree that if the USDA is going to be issuing regulations, then the FDA shouldn't be issuing the very same regulations or conflicting regulations. Can we start there?
I agree with that, but what's the level? What's allowed?
The level that protects...
Like Ethiopia or hell, even Mexico.
Okay.
And we got,
Hold on. Protecting the food supply, okay? Making sure that the food is safe is different than saying, well, there's cow flatulence. We're going to regulate cow flatulence with a $175 head of cattle tax. Why? If you're going to tell me that cows, naturally existing, they fart. You fart. You might not believe it, but women fart. Everybody farts, okay? If we're going to say that by naturally occurring gas, we need a new regulation, I would say that's over the line.
How about point source pollution, where cows don't naturally sit in feedlots in one area, polluting an area?
Okay, now here's where we are. Now we're getting down to minutia. Do you think it would be best? Hold on. The federal you're asking me the right amount of regulation. If we're going to deal with minutia, nowhere in the federal. There's no reason why the FDA or the USDA should be dealing with minutia. Leave that to a state like Texas. The federal government has 18 enumerated powers. The idea of a central government was not to be involved in the minutia of everything, sir. A government will get so big it will crush itself at that point.
Things have changed in the last 200 years.
Then amend the Constitution, sir. The government has the power to amend the Constitution. To rule by fiat is illegitimate and, quite frankly, illegal.
Rule by what?
Fiat. Fake. Fugazi. Not a real. Okay, sir, you called yourself a liberal, right?
No, I'm not a liberal.
Oh, I thought you said you were.
Called me a liberal.
Oh, I thought you said you were. Excuse me. Relax, chill out. Hold on.
I never called myself a liberal, but unless I toe the, I'm sorry, but the Palin line, anything less than that is a liberal.
Okay, I didn't say that on this program. I don't know where you're getting this from. You're coming at me with boxing gloves and you're throwing punches here, and I don't know why. Because you're asking me the right amount of regulations,
and all you do is bash. And I'm sorry, I feel that way. If you don't agree, you don't.
When have you ever heard me, not Hannity? When have you ever heard me, quote unquote, bash and not offer a solution?
In my opinion,
and here's another one, Steve. Let me throw this to you in a way that you might not like. Since when does the government always have the power? In other words, if I'm criticizing the government exercising authority that I can't find that it has in the Constitution, maybe no answer or inaction is sometimes best. This is the problem that we have. A political party offers legislation, and now it's up to the other political party to complement that legislation instead of maybe saying, nothing here. Well, we're going to take over the schools. No, you're not. We're going to take over the credit cards. No, you're not. Sometimes inaction and no legislation is better than bad legislation. The idea that it's my job to offer slightly less crappy ideas is something I don't accept.
I agree with you on that.
Okay, so I don't know what you're complaining about. Thank you for the call.